Game and shit.
Woke up, and I was still dreaming. I thought I woke up.
I hate those kind of dreams.
Yeah, and I walked to. I was a little boy, so I was walking towards my mum's room.
Yeah.
And I thought, am I still dreaming right now? And a Viking broke through the door
Oh,
with an axe
shit!
and took a swing at me, and I leapt out of the way and go, yeah, I'm still dreaming.
Was it Techno Viking?
No, this. I was like 4 or 5 years old at this point. I had a lot of weird dreams, mostly involving Vikings and wolves.
Oh.
I don't know why. Oh, and villages with pitchforks. That was a common one for a little bit.
Yeah.
No!
I hate it when that happens. The bees are like on screen a little bit longer than your spin can actually.
Yeah, that's why when I turn around, like, when I go to spin them, it helps to, like, I duck back and I spin at the same time so you can get through more of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember there being dreams where I knew I was dreaming, but I tried to, like, go out of my way to convince the other people in the dream that I was dreaming.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I've had a couple of interesting results with those kind of things.
No!
You're gonna have to give the controller back to me very soon!
We'll see.
No, but, like, it'll be like, at the start of the dream, I can, like, fly, and I'll be like, wow, I've never had the ability to fly before, this must mean that I'm dreaming. So, like, I'll go to, like, my friend in the dream and be like, hey, this is, I just want to show you something really cool that I can do. And then I can't recreate it in the dream anymore. And it's like...
I've had stuff like that. Like, I've had a dream where I was a ghost. And I was like, wow, since I'm a ghost, I should be able to walk through walls and fly, and it wouldn't let me do either of those things. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And eventually, I managed to, like, phase through a wall and then sort of gently float onto, like, a clearing, and I was like, yeah, but I should be able to fly however I want. And then I woke up going, what the fuck? Why can't I fly?
It's the most irritating part in dreams is when, like, you know that you can do a thing because it's very clearly established in the dream that, like, by the dream's logic, you can do it, and then, like, it just doesn't happen the way that you intend. Like, oh no, the worst ones is when, like, you're given, like, a specific, like, task to do and you can't, like, do it. I was told in, like, response to, like, a Facebook comment.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, you can't just stand in front of them. I was having trouble with that before as well. In a Facebook comment, I basically mentioned that, like, I was having this, like, really bad... It's not really a nightmare, but it was, like, a bad dream, where, I was texting my friend, like, life-saving information, like, it was very important information, but I couldn't spell the words, and autocorrect kept, like... autocorrect...
Have you heard the theory about that? Is because...
Yeah, that's what the guy was telling me about it. You can explain it.
When you dream with the hemisphere of your brain, or like the parts of your brain that are turned on are not the parts to do that you use when you read or write. So reading and writing in dreams is very rare and difficult. And have you ever had one of those ones where you go to scream and nothing comes out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
I
a
actually
pretty common one.
I had if we're on the subject of dreams, I'd absolutely love to talk about, like, some of the weirdest nightmares I had when I was a kid.
Go ahead.
I think that... Okay, this is going to sound really strange, and this is one that's, like, stuck with me my entire
Did you dream
life.
that you were Christian?
The earliest nightmare that I can remember is, Whoa. Okay. I'm not sure I want to. I'm going to. Why was that nitro floating for, like, an extended period of time?
I don't know.
Okay. So, like, the earliest dream that I can remember is of, So I'm at this theme park with my parents.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how I knew what Donkey Kong was, because I'd never played a video game up until this point. But the retro, like, arcade-style Donkey Kong had, like, a giant statue, like, machine kind of thing, that was coin-operated for some strange reason.
Ooh.
And there was this sign saying, don't touch it. And Mum told me not to touch it. And I was just like, okay, well, better listen to her, right? Because she's the parent. But then, like, as being a rebel for some strange reason, I just suddenly went, like... You know what, I'm gonna put a coin in this, like, fucking machine. And it started chasing me through the freaking park.
So, the Donkey Kong machine got up and was like, a motherfucker?
Yeah, you know that scene in It Chapter 2 where, like, I'm not sure if you've seen It Chapter 2, but there's this, like, giant statue that, like, with a huge axe that starts, like, attacking, like, it starts growing this scary face and attacking the dude. Like, just having this giant, you know, inanimate object, basically, come at you like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had, like, it doesn't happen to me as an adult, but when you're a kid, you have, like, all these monster dreams that are really, like, bizarre. Oh yeah, bitch, beach,
I got a few notes.
buzz off.
When I dream, sometimes I dream like I'm writing a really good story.
Yeah.
And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, but I can never remember the whole thing.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. So
what was it? I think there's a theory that like if you're woken up halfway through a dream, you can't remember it. But like if you sorry, I was focusing there. But if you wake up like normally, like calmed and relaxed, you can remember dreams a bit easier.
Oh, here's one, because you know I make porn comics.
Yes, I am well aware of this.
I had an idea for, you know how in Red Dwarf there's genetically engineered life forms.
Yes.
And they're called gelfs.
Yeah.
And there's pleasure gelfs.
Yeah.
Yeah. They form according to your own desires and such. What if you had one where the desire comes out, the gelf automatically takes shape, and it's something really negative? It's something really taboo, and you suddenly go, "Oh shit, what's wrong with me?" And it becomes the gelf's job to be like, "No, this is okay. It's just a pleasurable fantasy. You don't have to beat yourself up over it."
Those are some of like the best hentai comics, where it's like someone discovering.
That's one
a new
concept
fetish.
I'm toying with.
Yeah. Yeah. Any others?
I got a bunch. Like, look at all this.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah,
a lot of them.
Story idea. I might be doing that one. I can't actually read.
Yeah.
Oh, I could. An otherkin accidentally dates a real werewolf. So the whole thing would be all about, oh shit, this is real now.
This is real now.
Yeah.
I am a werewolf now.
No, they aren't a werewolf, but they're dating.
But they could be bitten by one.
I'm thinking that you'd need to preserve the status quo, though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. Then it just becomes a story of an otherkin becoming a werewolf. I want a story of where an otherkin has to reconcile their status around a legitimized.
Oh, come on! I pressed the freaking button.
It's that kind of game, isn't it?
Yeah.
What else have I got? High school cover band.
Oh, come on. Anything else?
What the hell is this? Oh, that's my cat knocking on the door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let him in. We have a new co-host.
I have this one here.
Yeah?
The impression that somehow...
Do you want me to just reach
Yeah,
over
go.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so here's one of my notes.
Ready.
And I don't know where it's going to take us.
Okay.
The impression that somehow the kettle is on and you need to go get it, but when you get there, it isn't even plugged in. But then you remember that the dryer is on and you need to go get it, but you get there and it wasn't turned on. But now you have to go outside and mow the lawn while the sun is out, but you get there and it's nighttime.
Yikes. Oh, I've actually had dreams like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are insane. Oh, do you just like write down like all of your dreams and when you
I try to write down interesting ideas that make me go, what the hell's happening? There's this idea that I used to have about storytelling, which is, in order to tell this story, I need to have a complete arc in mind from start to finish about what ideas we're exploring.
Yeah.
And I need to have answers. But I've neglected the idea that often writing the story itself is the act of exploring what exactly is going on. So I want to move more from a static, here is how it is, and more of a, let me pose a question and we'll explore it intellectually together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes it more interesting for me, too, because I don't know the answer, and I'm trying to set up a fictional premise to figure out if the premise is true or worthy or good or what the answers are.
I have trouble as, like, a storyteller when it comes to, like, trying to... Because, like, whenever I come up with an idea, the first thing that comes to mind is, has someone else done this already?
Yeah.
And, like, most of the time, the answer is yes, because, like, there are so many people on the planet who all have their own ideas for stories.
Ooh.
And, like, you know, something's always going to have been done before. You can explore it in a different way, but...
Well, there are things that always will need exploring, which is why we have so many stories about coming of age, because new people are always coming of age, and they need a coming of age story.
I don't think we're ever going to, like, run out of stories, because, like, there's, you know, I think we can repeat the same things over and over again, and still...
Here's an interesting one.
You know, each generation will adapt their own version of the same story.
Yeah, and that's it needs to be that way. Because each generation has a nuanced and slightly different need of that myth to help them, you know, go through life.
Yeah.
Like, you don't... Like, the lessons learned from Star Wars in the 1970s might still apply in some cases, but you also need a version of that isn't just about white people.
Well, yes, you're right.
And incest. And white people incest. Okay, here's an interesting bunch of notes that I hope doesn't get me on a list or cause anyone a heckin' concern.
Sure.
Murder is often treated as an aberration, an abnormality, an unnatural occurrence between humans, but it is perhaps one of the most ancient and well-developed pastimes, as war even today will show you.
Oh.
The disturbing part isn't the idea that wanting to kill someone is unthinkable. It's that a murder in the civilian community reminds us all that we only have peace and safety as long as everyone agrees to the social contract of non-violence in the place that we live. Murder isn't deviating from the normal human state. It's a return to a darker, more primal nature of mankind. Murderers let us know you are all still animals. I'm just the only one bold enough to act on it.
Yikes!
Yeah.
That does sound a little bit like not necessarily a manifesto, but...
Well, it sounds like something a villain might think of, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's inherently bad to have thoughts that can be misconstrued as like villainous or anything like that, because we all have.
The idea isn't the idea. Like, if you start trying to dictate how people think, that's called fascism and/or marketing.
Exactly.
But
I mean, yes.
If you
yes,
we need to be free to explore our own thoughts. Even the darker ones, because that often leads... Yes! Yes!
Yeah! Give me a high five!
Yeah! That leads to an improved understanding of ourselves in the world we live in.
Absolutely.
If you leave it
100%.
unexplored, it usually comes out in a negative way.
That's similar to the thing of, like, I'm of the opinion that even bad ideas should be allowed to be stated in, like, a public discourse, because, they need, how are we going to know what ideas are bad unless everyone is allowed to freely... express ideas, if that makes sense.
Oh, and here's another story idea, which is just a konbini for witches. An multiple entrances to one interdimensional store that exists in several places at once, and a witch runs it, and she sells magical items.
Nice. Well, I think I'm gonna... Oh wait, maybe I can still save this.
A note from VidCon 2017.
Oh?
Ask yourself, why are you doing the things you are doing? Hashtag VidCon Oz. Hashtag VidCon 2017. Hashtag why do I do things?
Why do
What the fuck? What kind of nonsense lecture was I at?
I don't know, but it's a really good question to be asking just as a general rule of thumb is, why are we here? We kind of all make our own purpose at the end of the day. And
some notes from Matt Pat's lecture that was at.
Yeah.
Twitter trolls down outbound links. Turn on notifications for big tentpole streams, not the regular ones. YouTube optimal length stream of 90 minutes. The type of games that work on YouTube don't necessarily work on Twitch. Twitch for hardcore. Twitch for hardcore. YouTube for more personality-driven reaction games.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. And one that's just good name.
Oh shit! That guy, he stamps you like right away.
Good
I think
name
I gotta kill
for
him first.
a heavy metal album. Voyage of the Dawn Shredder.
Ah shit! Son of a bastard! Ah!
You okay, buddy?
Game over.
Oh, all right, my turn then.
Yeah, it's your turn, but like the middle part of the level's really hard to get past.
It is. Maybe we should go and farm lives somewhere.
You think so?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll give it another shot.
Absolutely, 100%. 10 out of 10. Oh, this might be an interesting topic, but
Are you saying this won't be?
Hi,
I'm Chris Reagan. Ah, fuck!
Right out of the gate!
Wow, Chris Reagan, you're horrible at this game. Shut up!
What? Is that your impression of him? He doesn't sound anything
Hello
like that.
there, I'm Chris Reagan.
That's not what Chris Reagan sounds
I know,
like.
he's got a hard to imitate voice.
Yeah, I don't know. A couple of the people we've imitated on
Well,
this.
I think that's bad.
I think it's bad. What? What are you saying?
What do you say? He does have a little bit of that Seinfeld. Come on!
Come on!
Airline food!
You kind of sound like a Jewish mother a little bit.
Did you see it? Did you see that? I got all the bees and I didn't lose my Aku Aku.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Very nice.
I don't know. Chris Reagan definitely has like a very like witty, off the cuff like kind of style to him.
Yeah.
It's like, even I made a video about it. Look at that!
Look at that!
It's kind of that kind
he's
of.
He's definitely willing to look at himself not too seriously, and I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I do think because most political channels take themselves really seriously because it's in the nature of like talking about real world issues.
Check that when you do a spin. his legs come out, right? I thought it used to be just his arm going. Woo!
Maybe.
Put a clip in of the original.
Okay, if I can find it.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that. There's definitely a lot of stuff like that where in the remaster of a game, you
Them.
they reinterpret things that like you thought were one way in the original game, but like turn out to be something completely